years old, and today I'm excited to show you different hairstyles you can have with braids. We're getting ready to go back to school. She is going to be in high school. We're so excited. So I wanted to do some fun, funky hairstyles with braids that are easy, and I hope you enjoy this video. So we're starting off with brushed out hair, completely brushed out hair. And if you don't have hair as long as Mariam's, you can certainly use braiding hair with these hairstyles. So it's completely brushed out, and we're getting ready to get started putting some braids in. So for this first hairstyle, we're going to cut her hair or section it into several even sections, and I'm going to use these rubber bands, which you can find in any beauty hair supply store. So that's what we're going to use to hold it. And Jill said I've kind of done it diagonal so that it's not straight back, but in two large sections. Now I'm going to section off this large half into three sections, about 3 equal sections, straight down. So I went ahead and sectioned out her hair into neat 6 sections, as you can see, very neat sections. And now we get to do some fun, and I oiled her scalp with some coconut oil, organic coconut oil, and that leaves it nice and shiny and soft. Start with the back. I'm going to take one section that I've already parted out. I'm going to take one section, it's already been brushed out, and I'm going to pull it upward this way, away from her ears, upward, and put a rubber band on it. Okay? So here's one of my tiny rubber bands, and you can put this as tight or as loose as you want. So that's the front. Pull the hair upwards towards the center part, and then you just put the rubber band on, making sure that you brushed it and the hair is very smooth and neat, and you just put your rubber bands through it. So that's my last section of 6. Braiding the hair, the sections, and as you see, I didn't braid it too tight. You'll also notice I did not braid the ends. That's because it helps it to braid them all together when we're done. But that's the halfway look. So now you're going to take the braids and you're going to braid them together. So I'm going to start with the one on top. I'm going to put it down, and then I'm going to take another braid and literally start braiding it as neat as possible, and then slowly adding some more to it. You just braid it down, and as you go you add more braids. And finally the last braid gets added on. And now you have a very large braid. So this is the final look, and it's very cute. Party to go to, you could just add a pretty piece of jewelry with some bobby pins. You're going to start off, you need some bobby pins, simple bobby pins. You can get these, they're inexpensive, and that's what we're going to use to secure our braid. So I'm just going to simply put my finger and put it around. Take the braid and wrap it around. And we have our Nubian knot. And then to secure it in place, I'm going to put a bobby pin through it, and that's going to help secure it. And you might need more than one to help keep it in place. There you go. So I'm going to do the whole head, and we'll come back and show you. want to make sure, brush it out completely before you get started. Going to the front of her head, and be careful not to braid it too tight, but this is a tender spot. Get to the end of the braid, you're not going to braid it all the way. I'm going to stop halfway because I want the volume. I want her hair loose. So I'm just going to braid it a little bit and then stop. Okay, so once you finish braiding it, you know, probably about 1.5 inches from the scalp, I'm going to start two-strand twisting the hair. Because again, I want the volume, so make sure it's completely combed out or completely brushed out, and then we're just going to start two-strand twisting it. So very loosely, because again, I want the volume in the front. So now that you've got your two fat two-strand twists in the front, you're going to bring them together and cross them, just like that, and we're going to wrap one of them around the other to make a nice big bun. And then you're going to take the second one and wrap that around the bun you've created. Somewhere midline with her eyebrow arch. I'm going to braid it around the perimeter, or as close to the perimeter as I can. I'm not going to part it past the first 1.5 inches. So I'm going to avoid parting the middle. Not going to put a part in the back because you don't want to see a visible part in the back, at least not with this style. So you kind of just keep adding the hair almost randomly and avoiding a distinct part. And we're going to make two. This is what it looks like when you're done. There really isn't a distinct part in the back. The only part is in the front here. So I've left the braid half done at the end, because when I do the second braid that's going to come around, it's going to meet up with it, and add a ouchless rubber band midway. I'm not going to braid it all the way to the end. And then to create some definition in her hair, I'm going to wet it. Her type of hair looks better when it's been wet and a lot. So here's the final look. Part off some large braids. One large one in the middle, two on the side, and in between that, two small braids. Alright, so we have sectioned her hair into 3 almost equal parts, and it takes a while to really get the partings really straight. Tiny, skinny braid. About that much. That much. Very narrow amount of hair to contrast the bigger braid that we're going to have. And avoid doing it too tight. It always distresses me when I see people braiding their hair, especially children, too tight, because then you're causing alopecia, traction alopecia from pulling their hair too tight. So really avoid doing that. You want a good, pretty hairstyle, but not at the expense of your child's hair.